and he was losing all their money. And they were getting, they couldn't pay their rent anymore. They couldn't put food on the table. They couldn't buy new shoes for the kids. They couldn't buy school clothes for the kids. And she was so embarrassed she had to borrow money from friends and family. And every time they got any money, he'd go to the casino, and he'd always lose. He'd play till he had nothing left. And so she said, Pastor, I love the man, but I'm going to leave this man. I don't know what to do. And the next week, probably because of that, the guy came to church and he heard the glorious gospel of Jesus Christ. And he put his faith in Jesus, and it was a miracle. God delivered him. Doesn't always work like that. But for this guy, his addiction was gone. He didn't want to gamble anymore. Maybe he got some sense. He said, I don't want it anymore. And he stopped gambling. And he got baptized. He started coming to church regularly. And he got a new job. And then he got overtime. He started paying back these debts. And then they were able to get a car. They were paying their apartment. They're saving up for a house. And a year or two goes by. And man, he's really rolling. He's doing fantastic. He's going to his kids' events. And his family's whole. And they're there worshiping the Lord. And one day I preach on tithing. Honor God with your first 10%. And everybody's nodding except for him. He's like shaking his head mad at me. And he comes up to me after and goes, Pastor, I need to talk to you. I don't think it's appropriate that you're talking about our money. And I'm thinking, you know what? If anybody else wants to have this conversation, that'd be fine. But you're the biggest loser I know. I mean, I'm not talking about like morally. I'm just saying, if you're a gambler, you win once in a while. How'd you never win? You were going to lose your wife. You were going to lose your kids. You lost your job. You lost your car. You had nothing. God gave you everything. And now you're crying at me about telling you what God says about honoring him? You got to be kidding me. It's gross mismanagement. I'm a slave. I'm a servant. Everything I have is God's. Everything I have is God's. So I don't want to be found like Asa, stealing from what belongs to God so I can get out of my panic mode. How about we seek God first? You sought God for your soul. You sought God against a 1,000,000-man army. Why don't you seek him for your finances? Why don't you seek him for your relationships? He began to change. His heart turned from the Lord, and he rebuked the prophet. He didn't listen to wisdom. He began to fight against God. And when there was a crisis of his body and his feet began to rot, he did not turn to the Lord, but he relied on the experts. Parents, you would understand this. When you provide for your kids, and then you find out your kids are stealing, you know, why would you steal? Well, I wanted to buy that video game. Well, I would have bought that for you. I would have done that for you. Well, I was hungry, so I stole the candy bar. Why didn't you just ask me? I was next to you in the store. I have money right here. What's wrong with you, kid? Why would you do that? That's an insult to me. I want to provide for you. I enjoy spending money on my family. Why would you deprive me of the blessing of giving to you? Why do we do that to God? He's a good and loving Father that wants to bless us. Oh, you can trust me against 1,000,000, but you can't trust me against a few? These experts professing to become wise, they became as fools. Some trust in horses, some trust in chariots, but we will trust in the name of the Lord. Before Joseph saved the world, they tried every wise man and none could help. Before Daniel spoke before Nebuchadnezzar, they tried every wise man, but none could help. How about we cut out the middleman and go directly to God?
Yes.
If you need peace, don't come to church for peace, come to Jesus for peace. His peace he promises you. You need salvation. Don't come to me for salvation. Come to Jesus for salvation. He promises it to you. You need wisdom. It doesn't say ask your elder, ask your deacon. It says ask God, who would freely give you all things. You ought to have a direct line to God. Look at 1 John chapter 2. And we don't need anybody to teach us. Because we have an anointing, an unction, a pipeline. We know God directly.